All right, good morning, guys. It's your boy Rome. So, continuing with the How I Got the Shot series, I want to show you guys a very simple lighting setup that I've used numerous times. This shoot was a pinup style. I want to call it a boudoir, but it had more of a pinup theme to it. And I worked with the client to achieve a number of shots. And many times, one of the things that you will encounter as a photographer, and it's actually something you want to encourage, is that your clients come in with a number of shots that they found. Maybe they Googled them or they found them in a magazine or an online site, whatever it is, and they want to try and emulate those images to some degree. So if you know in advance, what it is they have in mind, it makes your job that much easier when it comes to setting up your lighting. So I use basically the same 3 light setup for almost all of these shots. And let's open this one really quick here in Photoshop and I'll show you. So here's one. Let me lighten this up just a bit. Okay, so here's one. I have a key light, a fill light, as well as a background light. That's what you're seeing here in the background, which is this red color onto a black seamless paper. And I use this exact same lighting repeatedly for multiple variations of this same shot. So if we go here, here's one that's more of a close-up. Basically, all we did was bring in a large chair and then rotate the chair, toward the camera, the back of it, so that it would, be in conjunction with the red glow that's behind her. So here's another shot using that exact same chair. You see, as we have here, the red light is in the background. I think we had maybe a 30-degree grid with the gel, producing this red light behind her. And here's another one. Basically the same chair, same lighting. So if we go in really close here, even in the eyes, you can start to see the catch light. You can see the 2 main lights. You can see the key light. You can see the fill light. And then obviously, we had the background light behind her. And that's again what we did here. So luckily, she came in with a lot of ideas. And, during the time we were talking before the shoot, she had already sent me a number of different images as the things that she wanted to capture. So that made that portion of it that much easier to plan out my lighting. Now, again, I cannot emphasize enough, the advantages of having, software like Satellite. I was at 250 of a second at f8 and ISO, I believe it was somewhere between 200 and 400, is where I kind of hover, with these type of shots to keep them kind of moody. So if we look here, you can see the background light, which is giving us that red glow behind her, and our main light, which was 45 away and above, and then the fill light, which was just slightly, I would say was in line with her, but it was underpowered just to, kind of fill in those shadows. And we used a black seamless paper here in the studio. And it's not a difficult thing to achieve. Once you have a good idea as to what it is your client is looking for, the rest is just getting it set up. So no matter how many times she may have changed, wardrobe or whatever it is, I already had in my mind what each set was going to look like. So it's just a matter of, setting up the lighting, being prepared, because some of these may require, like this light, for instance. I did have a barn door on it and I had a gel. Let's see if you can't really tell here from this because this is not really necessarily that accurate, but you can see there's a red gel, there's a barn door on this light, and you can do all of that pre-planning in this application. So again, I can't emphasize that enough. So, I've had a couple of people ask me again, no, I am not sponsored by Satellite. And I'm actually using a trial version of their software. I just want to really be able to give you guys kind of an insight in how I plan my shots. Maybe some of this information can carry over as to things that you may want to be doing for the future. But if you can't afford the software, at least draw out diagrams, as to where you want your lights to be per set. I mean, it's not that difficult to, sketch out, the chair or the bed or the stool or whatever it is you're going to be using, just to kind of give yourself an idea of exactly where everything is going to sit based on the space that you're working with. So in my old studio, I had, relatively large space, so I had, room on either side of the seamless to, place lighting, and the door was kind of over here to one side of the studio. People would walk in from this side. This was just a solid wall. And I'll, probably drop an image here so I can show you guys what the studio looked like, with how I was securing the paper onto the wall and things like that. But the most important thing is it doesn't make a difference if this is going to be your home studio, you working in an official studio space or something, or shared space, whatever it may be. Or it may be situations where you're doing something like this on location and you just need to pop in there and say, okay, this is how much space I have. These are the lights that I'm going to bring with me. Okay, if you're, powered lights, where they have, AC or DC, so you got to make sure of where your plugs are, that you're going to be able to secure those cords so people aren't tripping over them, things like that. So all of those things you take into consideration when you're setting up your scene. And you want to be able to look at this, from all the different angles and say, okay, this is what I'm working with. This is the distance between myself as the photographer here, the client or the model, the light, how many feet distance am I going to be working with? All of those things are going to be factors. So as you analyze and plan, again, I can't emphasize how important planning is. I've worked with people in the past and, they were just like, oh, well, we'll wing it. Well, it doesn't work out that well for us as photographers. Now, this is different if you're shooting an event and you're just kind of walking around shooting, documentary style things. But when you have a specific idea in mind, whether it's fashion, boudoir, whether it's going to be something glamour, even corporate headshots, you want to be able to make sure that everything you have in your mind, you have room for your equipment. It's going to be in a safe environment. People are not going to be walking around tripping over your lights and things like that. So yes, being able to graft out, do these diagrams is a powerful tool. And even we go back over here to some of these images, like I said, even almost every one of them is using the exact same light. You have your main light, your fill light, and a background light. So, that's as simple as it gets. The rest is going to be experimentation. So, if you have someone you can work with, you can play around with, set your lights up. This is again, a 3-light setup. You may only have one light. So the next option would be, even if you can't put a light on the background or something like that, but you still need a fill light and you have your main light, use a reflector. Just get you a piece of white board and just, secure it or get someone to hold it just so some of that light pops back over into the shadowed areas and you're good to go. And you'll be able to shoot this and see it, in the back of your camera. Now, another thing that I definitely recommend, if it's available to you, is to shoot tethered. I usually shoot directly into Capture One, so that way I can see every image as it comes in. I can make my adjustments based on that. And the other advantage is I can take my initial test shot. There's no other light interfering with the scene. So I'm not capturing any light from windows or overhead lights or anything like that, because many times you're not going to be in an environment where you can turn off all the lights in the room, because again, people are walking around and things like that. You don't want someone walking around in the dark and tripping over something and then you're the one responsible for it. So setting up your camera, setting up your lighting, getting your diagrams, all of that is going to be very, very important to you. And over time, and when I say time, I mean a very, very short time period, this is just going to become a part of your workflow. You won't even think about it. It's just boom, it just happens. You know, oh, I have a shoot this week. Okay, what's going on? Okay, so let me do my diagram. Okay, everything is set. Let me send this off to, you know, the makeup artist or whoever else that needs to know exactly what it is you're going to be working with. And if you have a very, you know, qualified makeup artist that works with photographers all the time, they already know for the most part what type of makeup you're looking for, you know, as far as a matte finish or something like that. Now, if you have makeup artists that are also doing full body makeup, that's a possibility. So it just depends, you know, it depends on who you're working with and what type of, you know, campaign you're working with. All right, guys, I don't want to hold you any longer. So we're going to, you know, wrap this video up. Hopefully something in this video has inspired you and will help you in the future to organize yourself, to create the art that you have in your mind. That's going to keep your models happy, it's going to keep your clients happy, and it's going to make you more productive, and that means you're able to profit from your creativity. All right, guys, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so, and share these videos with anyone that you think that maybe can benefit for some of this information. If you're not already following me on Instagram or Facebook or something like that, you know, hey, you know, find your boy. You know, there'll be links down there. You know, just, you know, get with me. And any way I can answer that question, I will definitely do my best to get the information to you. So until next time, guys, it's been your boy Rome. I will catch you guys in the next video. Stay safe. Peace. I'm out.